For the record, this matter is before the court on the defendant's motion for order to show cause, seeking enforcement of the terms of the judgment of divorce. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Attorney Matthew Capron, representing the defendant, moving party Kimberly Barron. Ms. Barron is present. In addition, it appears that Mr. Attorney Jeff Bennett has reappeared in this matter on behalf of the plaintiff, Brian Barron, and Mr. Barron is also present. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
The parties have conferred at length with Mr. Walker from the front of the court this morning. Mr. Walker has provided the court the following recommendation. And noting that the plaintiff is current on the spousal support payments through the end of June 2024. Upon the defendant providing proof of her making the life insurance payments, plaintiff will reimburse the defendant for any life insurance payments that she paid after plaintiff stopped depositing money into the joint bank account. That is a recommendation. Mr. Capron, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this morning?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bennett, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this morning?
I apologize for stepping over, Your Honor. It is not acceptable to him in one part. He believes, or we believe, that he owes life insurance from the date of the judgment of divorce through when the payments were last taken out of the bank account.
Does anyone have dollar figures this morning? What are we talking about? Difference of a couple $100 or thousands of dollars?
Yeah, Your Honor, the amount which is stated in my petition is, let me find it for you. It's $4,035.35. That's in section 7 of the petition to show cause. That's the total that we believe is owed. And I do have all of my clients' bank account statements showing the life insurance payments being deducted from her account, and Mr. Barron failing to reimburse and pay those as part of the status quo throughout the proceeding, and then subsequently even after the judgment of divorce. And this was preserved in the judgment of divorce. And I would indicate that we were agreeable to the front of the court recommendation, provided that it was adopted. When Mr. Barron said not on this issue, I would just indicate for the court's edification that even though he's current on the spousal support now, he wasn't current when we filed our petition to show cause. And I don't want to belabor the point because he is current now. But as my petition shows, I sent a letter to Mr. Bennett on January 30th. We filed this petition in April. It's now July. Whether it's, I don't want to say a miscommunication, it was lack of. I never heard from Mr. Bennett, and my client never heard from Mr. Barron as to our petition to show cause and the sums outstanding. And the reason he's current on his spousal support now is because he was unilaterally deducting the amount of the car payments from his spousal support, and he paid them at the end of the month instead of the beginning. It's a lot of miscommunication on that issue, but not one that we understood until today. So while he is current on the spousal support now, he didn't pay it in compliance with the judgment of divorce. That being said, I want to move past that issue and say that clearly he was awarded the life insurance policy. It was his life insurance policy. He was required to pay the premiums as part of the status quo order. And what he did back in the beginning of 2022 is he took his name off the bank account, and the payments kept coming out of it. Now it only has my client's name on it, and he never paid her. And so we preserved that he needed to pay that amount. It was an issue. And then wasn't solved until several months after the judgment of divorce. So it's not an issue moving forward. But as of this point, he owes her $175 a month for those life insurance premium payments for a period of 23 months, totaling $4,035.35. So we believe that, as well as our request for attorney's fees, which was not addressed by the referee, is appropriate because, again, I made contact January 30th to try and resolve this issue. That's attached to our motion as Exhibit B. We served this in April, and here we are in July, and there was no communication, no answer filed to the motion. So I think it's unnecessary. All he has to do is pay these life insurance premiums. If he had done that and communicated with us, we wouldn't be here today. So we're asking for the $4,035 as well as $1,350 in attorney's fees.
Mr. Capron, the insurance was $175 a month premium for 23 months. Is that what's is that issue?
Yeah, that's the period of time. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Bennett, how many your client interprets what the judgment differently? Your client acknowledges some responsibility for the life insurance, but not 23 months.
Your Honor, that's true.
How many months?
excuse me, he owes from the
How many
date of
months
the
does Mr. Barman acknowledge responsibility for?
9, including this month. I don't know what any of the payments are. He hasn't seen the deductions.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you muted out. I missed the first part of your response, Mr. Bennett. Can you repeat that?
It's 9 months through today. I don't know what payments were paid in that 9 months. We haven't seen any of that. And I did not get a copy of the petition, which is why it wasn't answered. But we believe that the correct interpretation of the judgment of divorce is that it's the 9 months. The amount that was currently due and owing was addressed in the status quo order provision of the judgment of divorce at the amount of $62,380. They included everything that was in the status quo order, which was included those life insurance policies. When he was paying the interest in the house, in addition to a $50,000 that was owed for the offset and the equity in the house, he paid an additional $62,380 is the amount of monies owed under the status quo order. And so our position is that he owes from that date going forward, from the date he took over the house, which is the beginning of November.
Your Honor, briefly, I would just refute that. It's very clear from the language in the judgment of divorce that he was to, it says on top of page 2, current financial status quo shall remain.
Yes, I've got numerous page 2s. This judgment, it looks like every page is numbered page 2. So, and first of all, who drafted the judgment? Did Mr. Bennett draft the judgment?
Yes.
It was actually both of us. It went back and forth probably 9 times, 8 times, maybe.
Mr. Bennett drafted it.
I'm going to assume it was my mistake.
And
Well, any ambiguity would be construed against the drafter. So, how many pages do I count back from the cover page of judgment of divorce, Mr. Capron, they're referring to?
starting by referring to the actual page 2, so the second page of the document of the judgment.
Status quo order.
Current financial status quo shall remain in effect until the first of the month following plaintiff's payment of the funds owed to the defendant as described below. The funds total $62,380. So the status quo, as the referee indicated, was for him to pay that, and that's why that amount's preserved for the life insurance. The $62,000, their argument that included the life insurance payments is false and deficient because the $62,380 is spelled out below. If we go to the next page, which would be page 3 of the judgment, even though it's not labeled appropriately, it says in section 1A, and that's what I'll do, I'll refer to numbers in sections, that she gets $50,000 for her interest in the marital. So that's $50,000. If we then turn the page in section 3, it says that she gets $5,000 for the offset of the equity in the vehicles. If we turn the page again, in section 6, it says she gets $3,380 for an offset on the debt. If we turn the page again, 1, 2, 3, 4 more times, and eventually we'll come to a page that has constructive trust on it, statutory probate provision, and at the bottom, attorney's fees. There's an amount of $4,000 for attorney's fees that was awarded to her. If you add up $50,000 plus $5,000 plus $3,380 plus $4,000, that equals the $62,380 that is stated. It does not indicate that she is to be reimbursed for the life insurance or anything else that was owed under the status quo. And so that disproves that argument.
Response, Mr. Bennett, that's pretty convincing.
Yeah, and I'm going to apologize. Like Mr. Kaplan, I just returned from a 2-week vacation. Brian, once he sends you the verification of the deposits, you're going to owe that entire money. He's right. $4,035.35.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bennett. Do you need more time to confer this morning?
I just went over it at the same time as Mr. Kaplan. My argument was a legal argument that I don't think Mr. Barron can help me with, but I believe that that is where the $62,380 went. He was required to pay his own life insurance through the status quo order, And so he's going to owe for those monies. But as I indicated at the front of the court, he'd been asking Ms. Bowerman for the verification of the withdrawal. She's never provided that, which is the reason that that I believe the recommendation says upon proof of the payments, he'll pay it. Mr. Bowerman, would you be able to pay it within 7 days of those monies being able to be provided to you that it was done?
The 4,000,
Yes, $4,035.35.
I would not be able to pay all of that at one time, no.
How much time?
3 months?
That's reasonable.
You're going to make it in 3 equal payments or nearly equal payments? Is that what we're going to do?
I'll make them 3 nearly equal payments upon all the proof, yes.
And then, Your Honor, is it relates to the spousal support, blaming me for the support's always been current as of January. An attorney, Mr. Kaplan's office, and we spoke on January 29th or 30th. And he, because I was preparing a motion for contempt because Ms. Bowerman wasn't paying the car payment or car insurance. And in fact, actually, she got a new car and put that car on his insurance after the divorce judgment, but that's been fixed now. He advised me that Mr. Bowerman was paying 30 days behind instead of 30 days ahead on January 31st. He got caught up through February. So he paid January's and February's payment. He's been current ever since. And I guess I don't understand. I had explained to whoever it was, I thought it was Mr. Kaplan at the time in January, that he was going to pay it and get caught up, and he did that. So I don't know why I would reach out after he pushes in my opinion, that he wasn't able to understand that the spousal support was in fact current and has always been current. Once he got 30 days in advance instead of 30 days behind. So I would ask that you order him to pay $4,035.35 in nearly equal payments over the next 90 days from the date that the proof is provided either to me or through Mr. Kaplan or to him through Ms. Bowerman, and deny the request for attorney fees.
Thank you. Clearly, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Kaplan, there's a lack of communication here, which led to this issue. How is the life insurance premiums being paid right now? Is Mr. Bowerman paying those directly? So he's picked up those payments?
He's paying his life insurance payments.
Right. How does Ms. Bowerman know if he's paying those?
We know that they have stopped coming out of her, being withdrawn out of her bank account. So we don't know that. We at least know that they're not being taken out of her bank account.
Right, but how does obviously she's going to want to verify every couple of months that the payments are being made and there's no lapse in this coverage.
Correct.
How is Mr. Barman paying those? Is he paying a direct payment? Is he writing a check?
How are you paying them? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
They're direct payments.
I'm sorry, direct payments?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Barman's coming out of your checking account every month. Is that correct? The $175 premiums?
No, not $175, Your Honor.
Okay. How are the life insurance premiums being paid?
It's not $175, Your Honor.
Okay. How much are the life insurance premiums a month? I don't know where I get the 175 figure. How much are the life insurance premiums?
Mine tells me $95.25.
Oh, so $95 a month. How are you paying those?
I got a letter back in January, February, because it was canceled when Miss Bowerman canceled it, and I don't know when, to be considered for reinstatement.
Okay, so what's the status of the life insurance policy? Has it been canceled, or has it been reinstated?
It was canceled by them. I paid the $95.25, but the dividends were gone because they were taking the dividends to pay for it.
Okay. Well, you got a problem, Mr. Barman. You need to secure a new insurance policy. And it's going to be obviously at a greater cost, and it's going to be at your cost.
I'll explain the obligations to Mr. Bowerman.
All right, I'm going to set this review and make sure that Ms. Bowerman is protected and Mr. Bowerman has secured additional new insurance and amount sufficient to basically the purpose of the insurance was to make sure that the spousal support obligation was covered, correct, Mr. Kaplan, Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Right. How will Ms. Bowerman, what kind of documentation will she provide to Mr. Bowerman of her payments? Is she going to provide bank statements?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Kaplan, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. When can you do that?
I can do that probably within the week.
I'll be able to do that this afternoon, Your Honor.
Do we need documentation, Mr. Bennett? Does Mr. Bennett deny she's made these payments? The $4,000, $35.
Yeah.
Your Honor, we're asking for verification. He doesn't know what the payments were. If Mr. Kaplan can email them to me, then.
Okay, all right. So the recommendation is that plaintiff shall reimburse defendant for any payments that she paid after plaintiff stopped depositing money into the joint account. Mr. Kaplan, when she does that, it's been proposed that he have that paid on or before September 30th. Any objection to that time frame?
What was suggested that he made 3 equal payments. So I understood that Mr. Bennett indicated his client would pay it over 90 days, 3 equal payments at 30, 60, and 90 days, and we have no objection to that.
All right. Mr. Walker, are you still available?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker, could you add to this recommendation that the plaintiff will pay the amount due to the defendant in 3 equal monthly installments within the next 90 days? And finally, the court's going to set this for review perhaps the first week of October to make sure that's been satisfied. We'll reserve the issue of plaintiff defendant's request for attorney fees will be reserved, Mr. Kaplan, and we'll come back and address the status of the life insurance. We have either October 1st or October 2nd. Available October 1st or 2nd?
Whichever works for Mr. Kaplan will work for me.
First, please.
Okay. How about 8:30 on the 1st? Will that work?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Walker, if you could put in the order that the parties refer back for the court to review the status of the life insurance coverage, October 1st, 2024, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Hopefully at that time we can confirm everything and hopefully we don't need to argue about attorney fees if Mr. Barman has satisfied this order and also secured satisfactory insurance prior thereto. If in fact everything is satisfactory, Mr. Kaplan, Mr. Brennan, you can always call the court and we can remove the court's docket if we need not appear that day, but we'll get our docket for October 1st at 8:30.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Last question, Mr. Barman, when are you going to pay the July payment? Is it due not the 1st of the month?
I've paid the July payment already at the end of June.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, anything further than this morning, Mr. Kaplan or Mr. Bennett?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you both. That concludes, you can all zoom out. For the record, this matter is before the court. Post-judgment issue being involved for the purpose of reviewing the status of a life insurance policy that the plaintiff was to secure for the benefit of the defendant. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Attorney Jeffrey Bennett representing the plaintiff, Brian Bowerman. Mr. Bowerman is present. In addition, Attorney Matthew Kaplan is present representing defendant Kimberly Bowerman. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The parties, good morning, Ms. Brower. The parties have confirmed with Ms. Brower from the front of the court, who has provided the court the following recommendation that the plaintiff sent to the defendant today a check in the amount of $90.52, noting that the plaintiff allegedly mailed a check of $175.45 yesterday. I'm not sure who that check was mailed to. That those two checks would satisfy the life insurance payments due to the defendant. And it's also noted that the plaintiff is current on spousal support through September of 2024. That's recommendation. So, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Kaplan, has a replacement life policy been secured?
Well, it's not a replacement policy. He just needed to pay her the sums owed for his policy that were withdrawn from her account. And he has made 2 payments prior, and with these 2 additional payments being made, that would bring him current, Your Honor.
So the policy lapsed, is that correct? But it was reinstated?
It was a policy on the plaintiff's life, but the payments were coming out of defendant's account. So until they were able to change the withdrawal from the bank account, that needed to be taken care of. I don't know what plaintiff's done with the account, whether the policy, whether it's lapsed or in existence. We just needed to recoup his premiums for the defendant.
Correct, but I thought there was also a policy that covered unpaid spousal support arrearages, and that the plaintiff allowed that to lapse.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Kaplan.
Please.
I know that it came up at the last hearing. It was not part of the order that was entered. Mr. Bowerman did send me proof of payment of a new insurance policy that replaces the old insurance policy.
Okay, that was correct recollection that the old policy lapsed due to non-payment premiums, and the parties will come back for the court today to make sure we've got a new policy in place. So apparently we do, and that's Mr. Kaplan. That new policy is satisfactory to your client, Ms. Bowerman. Is that correct?
Kim, have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Jeff, if you could just send me a copy of it, that's satisfactory, Your Honor. I just would like to see a copy of the policy in existence.
When you want to make sure that Ms. Bowerman is the beneficiary of that policy, obviously, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we just need the documentation. But Mr. Bennett was correct in his recitation. It wasn't part of the order, so I had forgotten about that, Your Honor. You're much more on the ball than I am. So yes, if Mr. Bennett could send over the proof that the policy was reinstated, ensuring the spousal support, so that we can have that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Do you have that policy in your possession, Mr. Bennett, or do you have to secure that from your client?
I have the receipt for it. Let me see if I will get the deck page for Mr. Bowerman and send it over.
Okay, that's the whole purpose of today's review. But in any event, this the second check, the $175.45, that was also mailed to the defendant yesterday.
$175.45 yesterday and $90.52 today.
Okay, mailed to the defendant, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was mailed to the insurance companies. Just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes,
So
to
the
defendant.
receipt of those 2 payments will satisfy the reimbursement to Ms. Barman of the amount she previously paid for the prior policy to keep that in effect. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that will take care of that. We just simply need to confirm. So unless someone petitions the court will assume that there's, I guess we can take some testimony from Mr. Barman this morning that he did secure a new policy and that Ms. Barman's a beneficiary. Any objection to doing that?
No.
Right, Mr. Barman, can you raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Mr. Bennett, do you want to make the word to your client regarding this new policy?
Certainly. Mr. Bowerman, you're aware that you're required to maintain 2 separate life insurance policies that name Ms. Bowerman is the beneficiary as long as you owe spousal support. You understand that?
Yes,
And one of those policies is through your employer, correct?
correct,
And there was another policy that lapsed.
correct.
And since then, you have replaced that policy?
Yes, I have. March of 2023, I opened a new one.
And where is that one at? Is that the State Farm Insurance Company?
No, that was another one I had. They named that one in the order in the divorce.
Oh, I see.
Was my State Farm one.
Where is the new insurance policy?
That one is with, I have to look this up.
Is it with American Insurance?
American, something like that. Yes.
The
And you pay-
judgment of divorce, Jeff, names State Farm, American Income Life, and employer provided, those three.
Yes. So you also have American Insurance Company that you started that now cost you $97.54 a month. Is that right?
Correct. With the same amount of coverage.
Okay. In looking through the documents that were sent, I don't see the declaration page. I will get with Mr. Bowerman, Mr. Kaplan, and have that sent over to you.
I appreciate that.
But no, I pay that monthly. I'm trying to find something on that.
Right. And you're current on the payments for
Yes,
that
I
insurance.
am. Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Barman, the $1 million question is, who is the beneficiary of that life policy?
Kimberly Bowerman is the beneficiary on that one, sir.
Mr. Kaplan, do you have any questions, Mr. Barman?
No, I don't, Your Honor. I trust that Mr. Bennett will send me the declarations page for the policy.
Very well. Anything further this morning then, Mr. Bennett or Mr. Kaplan?
No, Your Honor. We thank you for your time.
Oh, Your Honor. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Ms. Barr, can you simply add to this recommendation that the plaintiff has testified that he has secured a new life policy, naming the defendant as beneficiary, please? So, got that, note that testimony was provided this morning, and hopefully Mr. Bennett can provide a copy of that policy to Mr. Kaplan for the benefit of Ms. Barman. All right, very well. Thank you. That will conclude this matter. Everyone can zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.